everybody has been predicting that Nigeria will slip into recession, that is almost inevitable. In your view, KPMG, what do you think is the real situation? Do you think this stimulus package that is being infused into the economy can actually indeed prevent us from slipping into recession?
Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, let's first state that you have a recession when you have a decline in GDP for 2 consecutive quarters. So that is when you say you have a recession. And there is no doubt that given the interruptions and the challenges that COVID-19 has posed, that Nigeria will slip into a recession. And so what is the whole idea of the stimulus package, the Economic Sustainability Plan, is to be able to manage the impact of COVID-19 on the Nigerian economy. In other words, how do we stimulate growth within the economy, right? How do we ensure that people can actually buy goods? How do we ensure that goods are available? How do we ensure that there is income, within the economy? Especially when you consider the fact that currently Nigeria is solely dependent on crude oil. About 50% of government revenue comes from crude oil, and about 90% of our export earnings, coming from crude oil. And at the beginning of your program, you're talking about the exchange rate. That is why we have problem with our exchange rate. So the whole essence of this is that, yes, if it goes according to plan, now the stimulus package should be able to stimulate economy, right? But it all depends on the size of the stimulus package in itself, right? And how long it lasts. And so the question then is, how well will it go into ensuring that Nigeria is able to manage the downside of COVID-19? Given the size, even the government recognizes the fact that it will still end up with a contraction in the economy by the end of 2020. But that contraction will be about 6%. But that is rests on so many assumptions. Number one of the assumptions is that government itself is able to manage this cost and reduce its cost by at least 20%. But the question is, can we do that?
Among the KPI, we have the digital identification of every Nigerian, which sounds good to me. But can you just, in a few words, explain what it entails, what it means, what it entails?
Different from NIMS?
Okay.
So all the individuals involved in all the programs, from farming to digital outsourcing to agriculture, all the things that we've talked about, that are housing, all of them will be mandated to enroll in the NIMC. So that covers everything. The other thing I just want to mention very quickly, because it's very important, is Western-style call centers, where our young people, we're going to employ 1 million young people to be in these call centers, where they will be taking calls on behalf of government agencies and also private sector clients. So all of this.
And Ajuri, God will preserve us to the next 1 year, 12 months from now. I want to celebrate with you, because really, I don't wish this doesn't work out. I wish that we have that 1 million jobs from, especially the call center is a fantastic idea. So I'm eager to have that conversation with you. Let's have an appointment for this time next year to celebrate.
Give us some good news. Do you think this whole, that this indeed will give us some light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, I wish I could share the same sentiment as Ajuri, but when you look at the track record of this country, we just don't have the track record.
Oh, wow.
How many years has it taken us to? We're still building Lagos Ibadan Express. After many years. So there's so many things you can point to that would cast some doubt as to the ability of this government to deliver on the promise. But the good thing about it is that part of if you look at the plan in itself, right, it has defined what exactly the priorities should be, what the timelines are, what the expected outcomes should be. And there is one aspect of it also that requires a public and private sector partnership. So if you can have an independent party that can actually monitor, right, and evaluate how far government has done and hold people accountable, then probably we might be able to achieve something at the end of the year. That is the big if. But, from past experience, we just don't have the track record of delivering on our promise. So we know what we're supposed to do. We are very good at designing very good economic plan, but implementing and getting results has always been our...
You can watch Your View on TVC every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Nigerian time.